Hey there, Descendants, my fellow Americans, and people in other countries around the world. How are y'all doing today? Hope you're all doing well. Before we get into today's video, if you do enjoy the content that you see, please do consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Thank you so much. Also, if you're in the market for energy supplements, use code Ascending Rift at checkout. I'll have it on screen for you. That is Ascending Rift, no space, capital A, capital R. Today we're just going to be doing a little bit of a build video for Ines. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's break down the build a little bit for you guys, just show what I personally use and stuff like that. Okay, so first things first, the reactor is simply going to be Tingling Mechanics Reactor. I have crit damage and tech skill power boost on it. I'm running the Bravery set for the enhanced cooldown. And as you can see on my stat page here, my defense is quite high. Alright, as for the modules, I am currently running an Ancestor module for this build, but I'm mainly running this for the defense simply because Ines is a little bit on the squishier side, even with HP, especially with the Bravery set, you know. But the enhanced skill cooldown on the Bravery set that you get, I think is very well worth it. Especially if you can get something like this on your Ancestor module, you know, like the defense and stuff like that. And if you don't get a roll that's similar to this, you know, with the crit damage and the defense, you can just simply swap this out for, you know, a defensive module or something like that. You're going to be losing out on a bit of the critical hit damage. It's going to go from 7.5%, or not 7.5%, 7.5 times to about 5.4 times. So you're losing out on a little bit of damage with it, but I mean, you know, definitely not the end of the world. And if you don't want to run defense, I mean, you can run something else, like you can run a critical hit rate module, like run a attack skill power boost ratio module, you know, something like that. Here's the arcade tuning. A little bit of MP on here, as you can see, 14.4% over here. It's important to build into your MP at least a little bit. You know, you might be asking, why don't I have the enhanced skill power? Simply because the base multipliers for her skill power, I mean, yeah, you can see how low they are compared to her critical hit damage multipliers. So that's why I'm not grabbing that that gold skill power slot over here. But you know, I'm getting skill power from all of this right here, right? So, and of course, I have the enhanced skill cooldown. I grabbed the critical hit damage over here, and then for the mutant cell, I went ahead and grabbed the electrocution vulnerability. But and as for the inversion reinforcement, going to be blade trajectory correction because I use hypernova quite a bit. Spatial dominance because of course, you know, you want the skill effect range buffs, and then pain suppression. Simply just get out of jail free card thing, you know, in case I get into some real trouble. Also, you can of course use a secret garden, but I prefer to use the hypernova, and the only reason why I don't particularly run the secret garden is simply because the unique ability on the swords does not charge from standby. It only charges when you're holding them, unfortunately. So, but yeah, let's just go ahead and take her right into some breach tracking, and we'll go to Axion Plains and then probably somewhere else. Let's go ahead and get right into it. I do want to stress that this is purely just my build, and I'm sharing it with you guys. You know, I'm not saying, oh, this is the best build ever, you know what I mean, or anything like that. This is just simply what I personally and comfortably like to use, right? So, just trigger her 1 and 2, and then pretty much 90% of the time you do that, you will have enough of her unique gauge slash dark current gauge build up to use her 4th. So, also, I am running Time of the Hunting Hounds, as it is a more versatile skill versus her base 3rd. Her base 3rd is definitely probably safer to use than Time of the Hunting Hounds, but you know, like I said, I use it for the versatility, and you can just use the sword block if you're worried about, you know, being one shot when you trigger the skill, of course. It's also extremely powerful. It's one of the hardest hitting skills in the game. Just like that. They're all dead. But yeah, also the hypernova is kind of a get out of jail free card. You know, when you get stuck into sticky situations and you need to tow slash freeze the enemies and get them off your back, reduce the amount of fire that you're under. Very good for that. Come on, just die already. Really? They had that much health? Yeah, so when you're up against a mini boss, an elite enemy, whatever you would like to call them. I believe the elite enemies are the one with yellow health bars. But definitely when you use sword blocks when you use the third. Ooh. Be sure to remember to turn off the sword block though after you're done using it. That way you don't waste the gauge. Alright, let's go. Come on, big guy. You can also just block and then go ahead and just slash him down if you'd like. That works too. Hello, where's my grapple? Thought I pressed it. Yep, see, stuff like that is why I use the sword for the blocking ability. Let's go ahead and grab this health. Grab this health over here. Oh, come on, you're not gonna defeat me. Just die already. Oh, you fucked my throw, you little... Yeah, we'll throw it on another 4. I was thinking to myself if I wanted to do it. Oh yeah, we'll definitely have enough. Or have it charged up by the time the boss rolls around. Oh. Really? They didn't kill him? Surprising. Always with the lackeys as the last one, huh? And for boss rooms, you want to be as versatile as possible. Just kind of always, you know, moving around and stuff like that. Will take at least a little bit less damage by doing so. Especially against, I can't remember the boss's name, but the one with the pink lightning. Yeah, that guy can be not, yeah, see stuff like that right there. Even with, if I didn't have as much defense as I had, I would have been dead right there, so. Glad stuff like that is happening, so that way I can actually showcase the purpose of my build and stuff along those lines. But good thing is, the third does a lot of damage to him, so One more should finish the job. Or not. Yeah, see, I should have blocked right there. That was my fault. Let's just do this. That might be enough. Yep. Oh, I actually do have keys. Oh yeah, I have played Wall Crush. I was like, what? Alright, let's move on to Axion Plains, shall we? Alrighty, so the mission that we're going to be focusing on today is First Crater. And special thanks to my good friend LBG for letting me know that this is a good place to showcase mobbing builds and the like. Let's go. So this will be much easier aside from the Abyss Scarab. I mean, he's definitely not as threatening as he once was, especially for my Ines, which is surprising. But I have refined her build quite a bit over the past few months. You know, just trying out different things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, you know, stuff like that. Done a little bit of testing in the lab. So, we shall see. And again, you know, this is just my build, right? Like this, you know, I'm just putting this out there in case anyone wants to build something similar to this, or, you know, they want a baseline of where to start and stuff like that. Not saying, oh, you should, like, everyone should run this build, because that's simply just not the case. I don't think that's necessarily the case with every single build out there, unless you're, you know, on Rebiscuit. Special shout out to her for doing all the mathematics and, you know, things along those lines. Also, this is another reason why I run Hunting House. I barely missed it. That's okay. I either missed it or it didn't crit, because I know it damaged it. No worries. And you all are dead. Wow. Frame drops galore. I know that they're releasing a stability patch, and well, I guess it is just generally a stability patch. Either, what is it, tonight, if I'm not mistaken? But I mean, I feel like the game in general runs pretty smoothly. Some of it's definitely a bit hiccupy, especially when you defeat enemies literally as soon as they spawn. I think that's just partially due to the engine, though. Oh, wow! I have not played this mission very much. I did not know that the Tyrant Razorclaw could be a featurette. He's one of my favorite mini bosses, if you guys don't know. Why isn't his armor do armor? There we go. And I thought he was dead to that. He must have had iframes from teleporting. Now he's almost dead. I think another thing that they need to fix is the boost on the bike's not working instantaneously all the time. It's can be quite a pain in the ass to deal with, but it's not the end of the world, of course. All right, time for the Abyss Scarab. Still one of those down. Let's do this. Oh. Okay. So that actually did hit him. Yep, see that right there? That's why we use the sword block, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I'm like 99% sure that this guy could use his fourth with his diet and just save me this headache, but you know. Maybe he doesn't know about that. That's okay. Yeah, this guy's still pretty tough. Damn it, if you'll just get away from me for a second, I could type into the chat and say use your fourth. Alrighty. 512. It's not too bad, huh? Alright, the last place we're going to showcase Ines in is going to be Sigma Sector. This is just going to be more so for my newer players, just, you know, so you guys can see that, hey, you know, this build works in various types of content, especially when it comes to just pure mobbing and stuff like that. Not really the greatest in the new dungeon, specifically against the bosses themselves, but, you know, she can still do good work against the mobs and, you know, stuff like that. I always confuse Gideon with, oh god, I can't remember the other one's name. The point of entry, whether to go left or right at the beginning. All right. Wow, that was a colossal failure. Thanks, game. Let's just, yeah. Thought I pressed my one there. Out of my way, little chickens. Wow, that just completely drowned out her voice. And there's always one straggler. Huh. Dracul wasn't in range of that, huh? Interesting. Now he is. Alrighty. Alrighty, guys. Before we get out of here, I did just want to go over again what specific modules I would use in place of an Ancestor module. So number one is going to simply be Spear and Shield, right? Because this gives you a little bit of skill power and it gives you 89% defense. Also, let's just equip it really quickly and we'll just take a look at the defensive stats. So you're missing out on about 40,000 defense, but it's still, you know, I mean, it's still, you know, enough, right? And as for, I think I said earlier mistakenly that I think I mistakenly earlier had said fusion when I meant tech. I would use something along the lines of focus on tech or just, you know, tech integration if you wanted a little bit more critical hit rate, but focus on tech is probably just going to be better overall for you, especially with the, you know, the enhanced cooldown and stuff like that. But, yeah, I mean, you know, that's just a couple of options that you guys can utilize if you don't have, you know, a decent ancestor module with critical hit damage and defense, because I know it's all RNG based. So, but yeah, I think that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Let me know if you agree with the build. Let me know if you disagree with the build. Let me know if there's anything that you would personally change or improve upon it. Again, it's not a perfect build by any means. It's not absolutely positively 100% min-max to the finest degree. But yeah, I think that about does it for this one. And remember, if you're in the market for energy supplements, head on over to w.gg and use my code at checkout for 10% off. Ascending Rift, capital A, capital R, no space. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.